In this series of videos from a podcast we recorded on June 6th, we take a look at 12 iconic movie scenes from the 1980s, where we discuss things like pop cultural impact, instant recognizability, even how it got parodied in other movies and media. At the end of the podcast, we try to figure out which scene was the most iconic out of the 12. For the list of rules we followed in deciding which scenes to use, please look in the description. And if you like what you see, please subscribe to our channel. So our next one, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone knows the fucking boulder scene. You know, again, it's something that's been talked about, parodied time and time again.
Even in video games, you see it.
Video games. But when this happened, it's like, oh my God. I mean, I think you said it. This is the perfect adventure movie.
Yes.
And this kind of what starts it, because you're kind of figuring out what he's trying to do. He's trying to steal. And you see some booby traps, and then he just pulls whatever that was off the pedestal. And then a big fucking boulder comes chasing Indy down. But definitely, I mean, like Indiana Jones, the trilogy has so many iconic scenes, but by far, to me, this is the most iconic scene in the series. This just defined everything. So,
I mean, as far as like a big action set piece, back in the day, obviously it was 1982, I want to say. But yeah, it's a big action set piece. Right. It's great. And again, gets referenced all the time. Boulders still try to kill you in video games.
Unless you're Chris Redfield, you can punch it.
Oh my God! You know, when people talk about the remake for Resident Evil 5, they're always like, "How are they going to remake him punching the boulder?" But I digress. But yeah, this scene was wild. It was very exciting as a kid, and I mean, this is the opening scene of this film.
Yeah.
Okay, in a film where Nazis' faces get melted off by like looking at like the spirit of God. Mm-hmm. So, this is a great way to start that movie.
It was, and yeah, it's everything that led up to this. You know, because it built up the tension, and I think if I remember correctly, kind of right before was it this or was it Temple of Doom where like the guy betrayed him. I'm trying to remember. It's been so long. I know you remember.
He gets betrayed all the time. Temple of Doom is when he's like. He gets betrayed by that guy who poisons him at the very beginning, where Anything Goes is playing and shit.
Yeah, yeah. No,
and,
but
like,
I thought
Short Round's dad gets killed or something.
Yeah, no, but I thought in this, like, he was like, throw me the rope, throw me the statue kind of thing.
Oh,
yeah, so
he gets betrayed by the guy that plays Doc Ock.
Oh, God, yeah, that's right. Yeah, yes. Alfred Molina or something. Yeah,
Thank you. Alfred Molina is the one that betrays him in this one.
Yes, that it was that guy. Yeah, I knew.
He finds him dead later.
Yes, because he got he stepped on the trap with the poison darts.
Stupid.
That's it. Yeah, but yes, to me, the just running the boulder, the Indy, the hat, just the outfit, everything is this. It is. This is again iconic. You know, we remember it. Like you said, it's been referenced so much. You know, games have it now. Board games have been made off of it. I remember like what was it called, Fireball Island and shit like that. But
I'm sure Pitfall was based off of this shit too.
Yeah, because Pitfall I think like was 82, 80.
The beginning, like Atari like games. It's
I don't think it had the boulder, but I definitely remember playing Pitfall.
No, but
yes,
it's like the same kind of idea where it's like there's booby traps and you're an adventurer and you're trying to get away from shit.
Get away, snakes and alligators. So, but yeah,
Andy hates snakes.
He does. He definitely does. One more left. Yeah. So the last one.
Oh my God.
Again, like Dirty Dancing, probably not one of my favorite movies, but When Harry Met Sally. Everyone knows this. Another scene, because this is like...
People know this that haven't even seen this movie.
Yeah.
Which I was just at dinner, or I was at breakfast with my wife, and it was like, you know, like how sometimes you go to a restaurant, they have like Trivial Pursuit.
Mm-hmm.
And we were referencing, and she was like, well, I don't know that. I've never seen that movie, but I know that scene.
Yeah.
That's how iconic this scene is.
And then the end, the I'll have what she's having kind of thing. But yeah, definitely nothing that... kids might want to see. You want to show your kids at that time, but like you said, it's definitely something everyone knows in our age group, at least. You know, like you said, maybe the younger kids, they don't know this movie as well. This is probably, out of everything we've talked about, the least popular movie that hasn't stood the test of time. I mean, like, because we had Star Wars, Indy, stuff like that. I'm just trying to think, but definitely, like you said, everyone knows the scene. The fake orgasm scene, you know, Billy Crystal's just like, you know, I can tell. And she's just like, oh, really? And just basically shows him up. Definitely Rob Reiner at his finest. You know, I don't remember too much about this movie. This is probably the one movie I haven't seen in such a long time and haven't watched a lot, but again, like you said, you're out to dinner, or just the joke, I'll have what she's having, whatever. People just
Yeah.
know this scene. So, um,
People know the scene and never have seen it. Again, it's got to be the most watched iconic scene for a movie that nobody like. There's people that probably didn't even know what movie this is from.
true, yeah, and but for romantic comedies, it's definitely up there. So,
Hmm.
all right, but now comes the question, Soto. We've kind of gone through a lot of iconic scenes from the '80s.
Wow, we really did.
We did, and I said there's 12, and here's all 12 in a nutshell. Now, I don't know
Wow.
if you can.
Wow.
If you can't pick one, maybe a top three, and that might even be hard. But what would your opinion be for the most iconic scene in the '80s?
Iconic. Okay, so I'm gonna choose the top three in no particular order. I'm just gonna choose the three most iconic in this list.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the easiest way to do it. Okay. It's like as I go over all these. I have to put Dirty Dancing in there because
Wow. Okay.
that scene is undeniably iconic. Now I am looking at these scenes strictly from a pop culture like phenomenon, like what is like an iconic scene, right? Like as far as like impact to pop culture, impact to cinema in general.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Dirty Dancing, again, that's a scene people see and they don't even know what movie that is, and they know like they know that scene.
Yeah.
So that's one of them for me. I have to choose, and then of course I have to choose Empire Strikes Back. The twist, the reveal, the scene, everything, is truly one of the most perfect scenes. Uh, oh God, and I have to choose the big scene. I do. Those are my three. Uh, I could go with the Meg Ryan one because again of just the impact of culturally, but the big scene is huge. Everyone knows it. It started everybody doing chopsticks, and that one's great. I mean, the other scenes are awesome, but Dirty Dancing, that shot in itself is so iconic. Fuck, I could even say the ET one is too. Fuck, man. Like
Oh, yeah.
like I'm talking about like shots. The ET shot is obviously super iconic. Um, fuck, man.
Well,
Yeah.
let me talk as you think through this, because when I saw this, there's some like I know I say I love the Dead Poet Society and Breakfast Club scene, but looking at the rest, there's no way they're as iconic as some of these other ones. To me, I like if I had to pick a number one, and I will give you my top three. But when I was looking at this, my number one was the Empire Strikes Back. Luke, I am your father, and I think maybe a little biased because we are Star Wars fans, but I think non-Star Wars fans just know it. But to me, I always look at that as iconic, but I can see how others do. If I had to round out my top three, and now that we talked about it, it's hard because you put up a good point for Dirty Dancing and Big, but I originally, and I have to keep it up there, the ET scene, and I know it's not the movie wasn't yours as a whole, but that
Also,
scene is
yeah,
iconic.
that's a
And then,
shot.
yeah,
Super iconic. Yeah.
and it's so tough because a lot of the other movies I love, Karate Kid, Back to the Future, but if I had to round out the top three, it's Indiana Jones. It's that Boulder scene. It kind of, like you said, it was a great start to the movie. And it's so hard because, like you said, the big scene, as we were talking about, I'm like, yeah, I did feel like a kid. It was such a great scene. And Dirty Dancing,
Hmm.
again, though not my movie, everyone knows that pose and stuff like that. Um, as much as I love Ghostbusters, I can't put that even in the top three and stuff like that. But yeah, if I had to pick my top three, Empire Strikes Back, E.T., and Raiders of the Lost Ark. Which,
Yeah.
if you go with your top three and my top three, we only have one shared, which means Empire Strikes Back may have the best scene. If we had to choose, we combined. There's only one that was both in our top three, but yeah, E.T. is
It's a
close to
phenomenal
maybe the
scene.
number one. But if I think the Empire Strikes Back as a whole, because you said E.T. was a good scene leading up, and everyone just knows that shot, kind of
Well,
like the
from a
Dirty Dance.
shot, like a cinematic shot, it's the best cinematic shot of all of these. Like from a pure cinematic like standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because it's symbolic. It immediately evokes a feeling. You've seen that shot in other movies, like for Amblin. So you know that shot. It's like you know exactly what experience you're gonna get. So yeah, that's a great shot.
It is.
But I agree. Empire Strikes Back is not just a great Star Wars movie, it's a great movie.
Yes.
Um, for all the reasons we've covered in multiple podcasts and we talked about, as well. So that's a great scene. Revelation is fantastic. Um, I mean, in Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark, I mean, this is a great scene. I find other scenes more iconic. I mean, for me, the iconic scene is him when you first see his shadow, and it's Indiana Jones because it's just done. His character design is done so well. I love the Karate Kid scene. That's a great scene too.
It
Super
is.
iconic, but
They all are.
and of course, Back to the Future is too. Like, yeah, the flames underneath like Marty and Doc, like fucking, oh my god, great. But Dirty Dancing, Star Wars, big to me. I mean, they started things culturally that like we still see sometimes today. And it's a great feeling and a vibe with the big one. That I can't not put other things against them. I'm not saying that the other scenes are bad, but
No,
if I had to choose, I'd choose those.
you put up a good fight for Dirty. Even Big, I would put Dirty Dancing ahead of Big as far as scenes. I mean, like I said, I didn't think about it. Again, this is why I like having your gut check a little bit. Because again, I was looking through this and I'm like, okay, it's tough. And, I felt like to me, I would say the I Am Your Father scene is the best scene, most iconic. Excuse me, I shouldn't say best, most iconic one. But you're right with some of the other ones. And I'm like, yeah, that's a good point. And it's hard because, they're just so memorable. So.
I mean, Dirty Dancing is a culmination. That shot and scene is a culmination of the entire fucking movie. That's the climax. Like, everything was built for this scene to happen, and the payoff is fucking tremendous.
So hold on. Oh, sorry. Finish it.
No,
I want to
that's
ask.
it.
I want to ask a quick outsider. Someone. I want to ask my wife. You did not listen to this whole podcast, hon. But if you look at those 12 scenes, iconic 80s movie scenes. This is what we've been talking about. What would your maybe just iconic, not favorite? What would you say the top three, or maybe your most? What do you think is the top three iconic scenes?
Most iconic of the 80s?
Yes, 80s movies. We're not even doing anyone's. But out of these 12, what would you say is the most iconic three, in your opinion? She's thinking.
Iconic.
Iconic.
Regardless of my opinion.
Yeah,
Okay.
regardless of opinion, what you think is
E.T.?
E.T.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, this is hard.
That's what we've been talking about the last hour, yes.
So E.T. 1, Dirty Dancing 2.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then I'm torn between 3.
That's all right. You can say what are your other three? You don't have to. What would you say is?
Indiana Jones, Big, and Back to the Future.
Oh, she's got a few. She didn't even put I Am Your Father as 3.
Mm-mm.
Or in top 3. Yeah, but yeah.
God bless her.
She did say Back to the Future. That's when no, they're all iconic. It's so hard. Yeah, but
I think these are definitely the top 2.
Yeah, E.T. and Dirty Dancing, she puts in top 2. So you know what? Based on what me and you said, I mean, yeah, so I would say between all of us, Empire Strikes Back, Dirty Dancing. Oh God, yeah, it's tough. E.T. and Big, like I said, I do see how a lot of them are iconic. Like I said, both of you. I think as we are talking, you definitely put Dirty Dancing. You know what? I would put Dirty Dancing more than Indy as well.
You have to.
I know it's just tough because I always remember the boulder roll, that whole scene, it started. But you're right. I mean, this is why I didn't want to tell you what the scenes were. I didn't want you to think. I just wanted your good gut check. So
yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
Patrick Swayze wins again.
Let's put it this way: based on the three of us, Empire Strikes Back and Dirty Dancing top 2, and we'll leave it at that. Because based on what we said,
well, I can go. I can agree with ET. Like,
yeah,
I mean, ET. I can't deny how iconic it is. That shot specifically, I don't even know what the fuck leads up to that shot or after that shot, but I know that shot.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I know I remember that movie. I watched it more, but again, like I said, it's the kids running from the cops trying to get E.T. It's basically the end of the movie. There is one, but anyhow. Oh, all right. Let's move on from this iconic scenes. We're going to end this. Thank you for watching this video, and let us know in the comments what you thought of these iconic scenes. And if you like what you heard, please visit our channel for more podcasts and videos.